Okay, inner tubes. Let me make sure my hair is good. Okay, inner tubes. We're here at the workshop now, giving you an update on the Series 1 240Z. And here you go. I'll give you an update of this car as well as the 280Z that is just around the corner at Paint. So you'll have a video to cover both cars, make sure everybody's up to speed. So here we are with the Series 1, and let me give you an update on what's going on there. As you can see, we've got a spaghetti-o of wires everywhere. We've got the engine finally placed back in after a long awaited exhaust manifold modification that has taken place from an exhaust shop, and a lot of machining work in here to build up the manifold flange, because it's a Siamese twin flange which uses a single nut to compress and hold the intake manifold for the carburetors as well as the exhaust manifold together tight against the block. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these Siamese twin flanges. Let me try to zoom in for you to see. Like that one on the far right with the long stud, and this one as well as this one. So you see 3 of them all together here now. We've had to build those special washers to compress the exhaust manifold as well as the intake manifold together. So anyway, we've got this beautiful nice racing 3 into 2 into 1 exhaust manifold, which is brand new, nicely done there. We've got a freshly rebuilt L24 engine. We've got customized pulleys here to run 4 PK belt to make sure that the car is easily serviceable, as well as it can run all these brand new modern day accessories like aircon and alternator, 140 amp alternator, without blowing them off. If we use the original V-band belts at high RPM, these belts will expand and then fly off, and then we will have one of the accessories not working, which is detrimental to having the car run. So we've rectified it by thinking ahead and custom making these pulleys to make sure that we can run these 4 PK, modern day 4 PK belts. We've got our rebuilt gearbox in here. This is a 4-speed versus the green one's 5-speed. It's 4-speed gearbox, and all the brake master pump, clutch master pump goes there. Then we've got R32 GTST front brakes, and this, which are going to be mated to the rear 2 ports. We've got 4 ports in front, we've got 2 ports at the back. So this car is being fully assembled to original factory spec, and we'll have no modifications aside from the brakes. The reason why we had to modify the brakes is because the old original brakes are just not up to the task, and we were having problems rebuilding the rear handbrake drum, the rear handbrake drum brake, rear drum brake handbrake, whatever. Yeah, you get the point. We couldn't rebuild the rear drum brake handbrake thingy-majiggy, and so that's why we had to go break this with 2-port caliper just to match the front's 4-port. So we're rewiring the entire car from front to back. The rear is actually all done. This is for the fuel pump. This wires here is for the fuel pump. All the rear lights all work, and we are just waiting for the fuel cell to go in, which is over there, and then we'll wire up the fuel pump. This body is just waiting to be fully assembled, but as you can see, we've got a bunch of parts, engine, subframe under the car, which belongs to this X-Trail. And you see the Airtrek over there. So I'm going to give you an update on the Airtrek as well. It's got a freshly rebuilt engine with 2JZ pistons, King Racing main and conrod bearings, ARP head studs, and it's trying to learn at the moment. It's in its learning process. Engine has been running for about 400 to 500 kilometers, and it's running a little hot because it's quite tight. Tolerances were followed. We followed factory spec tolerance on this engine, and it's running nice and strong, but we've got a few of these niggling problems, which is a bit unusual. Car is actually very nice to drive, very solid, no issues with it, aside from maybe having to rebuild the turbo. The turbo is due to go. It's leaking a little bit of oil, hence I have some white smoke coming out of the rear exhaust upon cold start. So that's the update of the Airtrek. Reason why we had to rebuild the engine is because my half-cut engine, which I bought and put in and used for about 4 or 5 months or 6 months, can't remember how long, had actually dropped the cylinder. I lost compression on cylinder 2. Cylinder 1 was 12 psi, 12 bar of pressure. Cylinder 2 was 9 bar. Cylinder 3 and 4 again 12 bar. So we had an issue with losing compression on cylinder 2. So instead of going to buy another used half-cut engine kosong is what we call it here in Malaysia, I'm fed up of, you know, it's like picking a lottery and hoping that shit doesn't hit the fan. In my case, shit hit the fan and I got a bad engine, a dud, and it lasted only a few months. Here, engine is right here. It has a good head, has a lot of new parts on it, all the oil seals are new, but it dropped the cylinder, so no point having it in the car. I was having heavy fuel consumption, and it was just and it wasn't idling that well. It was misfiring, and then it started to leak on cylinder 2 from the coil plug. The coil plug ring failed, and oil was going into the cylinder through the spark plug orifice, and it was wetting all the plugs. So a lot of problems that was coming on the way, and I didn't want to have to deal with it. So while using this engine, I had to rebuild my original engine, and while I was rebuilding it, I had no choice but to go with oversized pistons, because that block was so worn that I had to oversize the bores. So there we go. Anyway, going back to the 240, I think if we focus on assembling and building it, it's about a month and a half away from being back down on its own wheels, and hopefully we can achieve that. That's my realistic target. 1 month. In 1 month's time from here, this car should be down and driving. Alright, so we'll go over to the paint shop and have a look at the 280Z. I'll give you an update on that. Here's the view of the engine in its engine bay from the top, running original twin SU carbs. And this is what we had to modify as well, because it fouled the intake manifold on the SU cups. So we had to do 3, 1, 2, and 1 more down here. 3 pipes were fouling. So anyway, very nice work done by the guys at Under 6 to clear the intake manifold. Don't know whether we should spray this valve cover or not. I kinda like it original. This car came originally without a painted valve cover from factory, so not sure whether we should continue to paint it or not. I'm gonna run the normal mechanical fuel pump. This is the aircon compressor, which we had to build and modify a bracket for. Very big, tough, beefy bracket that replaces the original. This car came originally with aircon, which is amazing. It came with the aircon, and we still had the original aircon system, compressor, blower, everything. This is a top view of the custom-made pulleys. So wiring taking place. All the wires routed this way temporarily to the front. Aircon condenser, as you all know, it's already been put in a long time ago. Slightly more modern H4 steel beam headlight. I will still be using a H4 bulb. The interior still the same. The back, we've got all the rear tail lights, as I said, fully wired up, ready to go. Rear wiring is all good. Yeah, so wiring in the back is all done. Dashboard has been tested and all the meters work, so that's good to go. Aircon's mocked up, aircon blower and everything has been mocked up. We're having our small hurdle what we need to pass is actually in the light switch, which is all broken on the inside, so we're going to modify the light switch. Can't find it here at the moment, so never mind, just I'll show you when the modification is taking place. But anyways, so this is the end of Series 1 240Z. We'll go over to the paint shop again, and I'm repeating myself, to have a look at the 280Z. Okay guys, you all been asking me where the 280Z is, so it's in paint. It's currently in the paint shop. Work will commence on it tomorrow. We'll start to scrape and get rid of the original top layer of the paint, and then we're also going to have to cut the fenders here because we've got over fenders on this car. As you can see, it's the wheels are jutting out, so it's gone through a slight process of what do you call that, stripping, and some parts have been stripped off of it. You can see the new floor pan that has gone in, and the new seat rails. So we've got floor pan and seat rails here. We've got some of the paint scraped off, primered the hood. Front is also going to have to be cut. We might have a fiberglass front bumper for this car, and this is how this car looks at the moment. It will be lowered and it will be wide with over fenders. So engine is still in the car, running driving engine. Whoa, overexposure. Parts removed. Some water in here now. Still having the original door cut. This is so valuable. I'm cringing as I look at this. I hope nothing happens to it. So we've got a fully salvaged, rebuilt chassis here. Very, very good salvage rebuilt chassis, which I'm gonna build. Hopefully keep this one for myself. Nice. Okay, here it is. It's at the paint shop. The keen eye will know it's a 240 rear bumper, which I'm gonna paint black. Yeah, okay. So now you all know exactly where every car is. Green car is with me. It's done. No need to talk about it no more.